Who hasn't dreamed of seeing a dragon in real life? Well, since the beginning of time, these fantastic beings have been present in our myths and legends, sparking the imagination of people all over the world. Dragons are creatures of power and mystery, and what makes them fascinating is that even though they share the same name, they represent completely different ideas in different cultures. Let's start in Asia, where dragons are much more than just fantasy creatures. Asian dragons are figures of wisdom, protectors of nature. And instead of being monsters that terrorize, they are guardians that bring harmony. Their bodies are long and serpentine, without wings but capable of flight, gliding through the sky as if they were swimming. They are seen as a force that controls water, whether in the form of rain, rivers, or even seas. In cultures like China and Japan, dragons represent balance, prosperity, and are symbols of royalty and good fortune. Imagine for a moment a village in ancient China, where everyone is anxiously awaiting the arrival of rain to save their crops. And then in the sky a dragon appears swirling among the clouds, and soon after the long-awaited rain falls on the fields. For them, that creature wasn't just a symbol, it was a savior. This is how the idea that emperors were sons of the dragon was born, a sign of their power and divine connection. But even these powerful beings have a weakness. There is a legend about the inverted scale, or ling long, a single scale found on the dragon's belly that points in the opposite direction to the rest. It's a vulnerable spot, and it is said that touching or injuring it can provoke the dragon's fury and even endanger its life. Now, let's cross the world to Europe, where dragons take on a completely different form. European dragons are not figures of harmony or symbols of good fortune. They are enormous and muscular, with skin covered in thick scales that make them practically invincible. They have powerful wings and, instead of bringing rain, they breathe fire from their jaws. These dragons usually live in dark caves hidden among mountains, protecting great treasures. For Europeans of the Middle Ages, a dragon wasn't a protective guardian. It was a monster that represented chaos and evil. European legends tell us stories of brave knights who faced these dragons to prove their courage and protect their people. In these stories, dragons symbolize the danger of the unknown, of dark forests and the mysteries of the mountains. They are creatures of shadow, guardians of treasure, and often obstacles that heroes had to overcome to prove their courage. Think of the stories of St. George and his fight against the dragon. However, even these seemingly invulnerable beasts have a weak spot. Many stories speak of the vulnerability in the dragon's belly, an area where its scales are softer and less resistant. Some heroes try to attack near its heart, where the blow could be fatal. This weakness, hidden beneath the appearance of impenetrable armor, gives knights and warriors a chance to defeat these beings. But why do these creatures have such opposite meanings in different parts of the world? Some believe the reason lies in the very environments that gave rise to these legends. In Asia, where water and rivers were essential for life, dragons took on the role of life-givers, symbols of rain, fertility, and hope. In contrast, in Europe, where dense forests and dark caves hid many dangers, the dragon became a symbol of those fears, a monster that represented the unknown and the wild. Despite their differences, there is something about dragons that is enchanting and even magical. Imagine for a moment that you could see one. Would it be like the Asian dragon, gliding through the clouds and bringing good fortune and rain? Or would you encounter a fierce European dragon waiting in a cave and challenging you to face your worst fears? Dragons haven't just stayed in ancient tales. Today, these creatures are still present in popular culture, taking us back to their mythological roots. Shenron, or Shenlong in Dragon Ball, is inspired by the Chinese dragon. It's a wise creature that grants wishes, a bridge between the human and the divine. And then there's Smaug from The Hobbit, the quintessential European dragon, fierce, greedy and terrifying, guarding his gold and challenging anyone who dares to face him. So, now that you've heard these stories, which of these dragons resonates most with you? Are you drawn to the wise and protective dragon of Asia, a symbol of balance and harmony? Or do you prefer the challenge of the European dragon, a creature of fire and strength that represents courage and adventure? Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of dragons. There are many more secrets in these stories, fantastic creatures waiting to be discovered. If these stories have sparked your curiosity, subscribe, like, and comment below what creature you'd like to see next.